This video is part 9 of a 10-part series. The final part will be released tomorrow, and you can watch the previously released parts, including the series intro, if you haven't already. Genuinely, literally living in a box. I am on a mission, the magical mystery bucket of wonder. From this bucket, we will pull out at random the puzzle to talk about. Floppy Ghost Cube. What makes this thing floppy? So there's our flopper there. Back in, we're almost done. Is that a... Oh, that's the Polaris Cube. Ah, here comes trouble because here comes a Skewb mod. I almost never feature Skewb on this channel because I never solve Skewb because I think Skewb is boring. But this puzzle certainly is not. So the Polaris Cube, somewhere in here there's a Skewb. It's not immediately obvious. In fact, trying to turn this thing, you can't really turn much of anything at all. It's all locked up except these little corners can twist. What you actually got to do here is you got to unlock the secret Skewb within by rotating all of these little corners just so. See, we have a straight line here going all the way through the middle of the cube, which should mean we've done it. We have unlocked the Skewb inside. So if we take a Skewb here, so these are obviously going to be our centerpieces, and then these are our corners. Not too complicated, but as you may have guessed already, the trouble here is going to come from when we do these Skewb moves and we start mixing up these corners. Yes, like this. So in each of your corner pieces here, you have the corner piece here that's bolted to the core. That's not going to move. Then around it, you have these three little edged-like pieces, which are free to roam to other corner pairs all around the cube, and then just start really messing them all up. When you first get your hands on this thing, it's honestly a little tricky just trying to scramble it up. You got to make sure all your little corners are aligned so you have a slice going all the way through the cube. If one corner is just slightly out of whack, it's not going to move. Another thing you'll notice upon your first scramble is just how scary this thing looks. I mean, a normal Skewb here is one of the easiest WCA puzzles, one of the easiest puzzles outright. Only needs like one very short algorithm to solve, but this just looks like a Skewb that got into a car crash and there's no hope of putting this thing back together. But believe me, while it may look incredibly intimidating, it's way easier than you think. So this is what it looks like with a pretty decent scramble going on. You can see all our corners have kind of all different pieces matched up with each other here. And if we rotate all these corners back, and this is what we're looking like in cubic form. Again, don't want to give away too many spoilers at all, but it's really just a simple two-step method. First, a reduction of all these corners, get all these corners fixed, and then just solve it like a Skewb. The Skewb is a super easy puzzle, so that second step is not going to be too much of a challenge. Honestly, neither is fixing all these corners. Again, this just looks extremely jagged, pieces everywhere. How are you possibly going to get these back to where they all need to be? I encourage you, if you get this thing, just stay calm. This is a puzzle that doesn't have any crazy algorithms needed in order to solve this. This is just very intuition based. The way that this Skewb modification works ensures that none of your pieces change orbits or get mixed up in any way that's going to, cause parodies or force you to learn algorithms to get pieces into place. It's just a matter of picking a corner to solve. Let's see, I want to solve this blue, yellow, red one. I need this red, yellow piece. There it is. Simple move into place. Find, let's see, red and blue. Where is it? It's not this one because it exists in a different orbit and cannot be moved into here. So it's this one right next to it. Boom. There's one corner done. And it's pretty much just a matter of that through the rest of the solve. Just try not to mess up the progress you've already made when you go to fix other corners. I'm not telling you how to do that. That's up to you to figure out. Okay, looks like we're on our last two corner pieces. This should be it. And done. I did that wrong. You're supposed to solve it as a Skewb and get the big corner pieces in the right position first, and then reduce the corners. So, come on, we can do it. There we go. Sweet. And just rotate all these back into place, and there we are. The Polaris Cube back into its solved state. So a bit of a challenge, not too difficult. I like it because it adds a lot more onto just what the normal Skewb is. So if you like Skewb and you want a bit of an extra challenge, this is the perfect puzzle for you. If you hate Skewb and you still just want something fun, this is pretty fun. So the Polaris Cube, I believe it's made by MFJS, whatever that stands for. I'm pretty sure it's just the same company as Moyu, and it's gonna set you back $7.99. Pretty dang good value for how fun this cube is. Okay, now plugging the Polaris Cube into our objectively perfect, flawless puzzle ranking system. Starting with value, we are going to go with an 8. For $7.99, the Polaris Cube is kind of on the higher end of our scale, but this puzzle is pretty dang fun, especially when you're figuring it out for the first time. And after that, it's still fun to solve again and again, even if, like me, you're not really into Skewb. For quality, we will also go with an 8. This puzzle is built pretty solid and has very smooth turning, especially for how complex it is. There are a lot of pieces working together in harmony through different orbits here, and a lot of puzzles with this kind of complexity tend to have stability issues where the Polaris Cube does not. Now, some of the little pieces in the corners can be a bit catchy at times, especially when you're first learning how to handle the puzzle, but this is mostly something you can start to get rid of once you get a good sense of how to handle the puzzle. And we're gonna wrap up with a 5 for difficulty. While this thing looks pretty spooky and intimidating, I'm convinced that most folks out there who can at least solve a Skewb could figure this thing out given enough time. You just can't let the puzzle intimidate you too much, and you have to find a way to pair all those edges up without messing up the progress you've already made.